Hi everybody. I'm here to show you my little mini wheel that I just bought, and I have opened the box and I made sure it worked. So it's not an unboxing, but it is my first try. So you get to see me mess about, and I am a legit potter, but I've never done mini pottery before. So here's the story. A month or so ago, I was looking at mini wheels, and I really didn't have the funds for the good ones. I know there's some really good mini wheels out there, and eventually I'll get one. But I just wanted to give a try. I wanted to have a mini wheel that I could do at home and do little miniatures and just putz around. So this one ticked all the boxes for me. It is AC plug, not USB. It has a reversible wheel head, which is really important to me because a lot of them only go clockwise, and I don't throw clockwise. And it has a bonus is the speed control is actually on the cord, not on the machine itself. On the machine itself, all you have is the on switch, on in one direction and on in the other direction. So it comes from China. The box is a little dinged up, but the wheel itself was in good shape. Looks like it's brand new, very sturdy. So here's the box that it came in, and I haven't kicked it up and down the block, so you can see that the corners are a little dinged in, but it's completely embedded in the styrofoam, and this is very high density stuff, so it is really sturdy. So I'm going to pull this out now. Box out of the way. Okay, so here's the little wheel. It almost looks like a tea tin. Anybody ever kept tea in something like this? It's awesome. It's got fancy Chinese writing on the top of it. So this is the power plug, and this is the switch. It goes up and down, so whichever way you want it to go. So you take the lid off, and there's the wheel. This wheel is close to 3 inches. I don't have a measuring tape right now, but it was when I was doing the comparisons of all these little cheap wheels, this is the biggest one that I was able to find. It's got kind of a splash pan area, so I'm liking that. Also, in underneath here, and I don't know if you can see, it looks like there is a Allen key, so I probably could pop this off if I wanted to give that a really good cleaning. So then, that splash pan area, I can lift that up. It's like another lid, and there's the motor underneath, and it's fairly heavy, and the wiring for the switches and stuff. So the motor's heavy. It's really well connected in there. And then this tin lid fits really tight, so I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any water getting into this underneath thing. And it feels like it's heavy enough that I'm not going to be, knocking it around. I still think I'll probably keep my fingers on it when I'm doing the throwing. So let's fire it up and see how it works. I really haven't played with it a lot yet. Just turned it on, made sure it worked, and I wanted to share the rest of it with everybody else. So, this is the little power box. This looks pretty sturdy. We've got really good wire connections at either end. The box looks like it's watertight, and then this knob here, it turns the machine on, and it goes from, well, here I should probably do it in the camera. So it turns on, you hear that click, and then gives you more speed. So it actually goes really fast. And when I first tried it, it had some good torque. I'll show you. So I'll start with it turned off. It's plugged in. I'll plug it into my power bar over here, off screen. You have to trust me, there's a power bar over here. Okay, so let's turn it on. And that is going clockwise. For me, it's going to be opposite for you. So I'm going to flip it up. So you can hear that click. All the way down is what is clockwise. That's off, and up is counterclockwise. All right, so that's. I wonder if I had a marker I could show you, but it's going fairly slow, and it's relatively hard to stop at that low speed. Even makes a bit of a sound. I'm gonna get it going faster. Probably be fair if I push in the middle, right? So it makes a bit of sound. Let me push it down. So it's got quite a bit of torque. I think I'm going to be able to throw on it. So, hi Tony. Tony could actually come and watch me at the table here. So I'm going to set this aside. Oh, my tools. Let me show you my tools before I actually start throwing. So let's get this set up so you can see the actual table. Can you see me down here? All right, perfect. All right, so yesterday I went bonkers and said, okay, I don't have any mini pottery tools. What am I going to do? So first thing I did was make a couple of sponge on a stick. On a stick. So these are just a couple pieces of cut up sponge and different size skewers. And I sharpened the other end just in case I needed a sharp, pokey something, you know, to poke people that should be watching me in the house instead of online. And just a little slice of sponge from the same sponge. This is, I can use this on a regular size wheel. It's just a cutoff wire. It's a twisted fishing line. No, you haven't missed it. Hi, Jill. I just got started. There's a link on my page. So if you scroll down, there'll be a link to the actual wheel on eBay with all the specs and everything. It was cheap. It was like under $35. So you can see why I wanted to take the risk on buying this and seeing how it worked rather than going out and spending a couple $100 on something small that I'm not even sure I'm going to use. So I feel like my risk is paid off, but we'll see. I haven't thrown with it yet. So here's my cutoff wire and the tools I made. So hey, look at all my cool ribs. So this is a round rib from a gift card. And I used larger round ribs to make my full-size bowls, so I thought I would try a small one. And same gift card, as you can tell, they match. Matching set. Very sexy. D-rib. I use D-ribs a lot. And then I made a kidney-shaped flexible metal rib, just from a regular size rib. Cut it with scissors and then sanded it as well as I could. It's not going to be cutting me. Quite some time ago, I had an umbrella die, and the umbrella has been sitting in my studio. And first thing I did was I grabbed all of these things. These things go in the end of the fabric of the umbrella where to hold it out, and so that you don't poke through. And these make really good burnishers. And so I got tons of these, like as many as there are points on the outside of the umbrella. So brought one of these, and then the supporting parts of the umbrella, I just cut a couple of these guys. So it's just short metal. This is cheap metal, so I don't think these are going to last very long, but it gave me something to start with. I can decide what shapes and what sizes I need. So I thought this one I could use just for a trimming tool. So it's just a straight knife shape. And then I thought I'd get fancy and do a couple of Japanese style trimming tools. So this bend I did cold, which you're not supposed to do. and I can feel it's rough. So that's not going to last very long, but it'll just give me an idea. So I did one with a 90 degree. Can you see that? I did one with a 90 degree, and then I did one with bevel, and I sharpened them before I bent them. So these are kind of like sharpened trimming tools. Oh, and I forgot to get my heat gun. Darn it. Okay, I'm gonna have to find my heat gun. Because on the videos that I've been watching about mini pottery wheels, lots of times people are drying them out with heat gun and then trimming them right away instead of waiting. We'll get to that later. Let's just see if it works and see if I can throw with it. And then a couple of knobby ends of a couple of bamboo knitting needles. I bought half a dozen different sizes of bamboo knitting needles off of eBay. They weren't very expensive years ago, and I use them whenever I'm making small neck things. They're also really good for making little impressions in your pots. So I use them for a lot of things. And then made a throwing stick out of a popsicle stick. So I just cut it with scissors and sanded it with sandpaper. And then a straight edge popsicle stick, which I thought I would use if I want to make any little galleries, if I want to get fancy and start making lids and galleries. So I have my little leather, which really can't get smaller than this. You still need to be able to hold it with all your fingers, so I can't go miniature with that, which is kind of sad. I wanted to do the Jolly Green Giant, or not the Jolly Green Giant. Who is that? The Friendly Giant. Friendly Giant. Remember that TV show from when people my age were little? So I kind of wanted to do that, but there's some things you just can't miniaturize. And then these are some tools that I got from my carving set. So this is just a little loop tool. I chose that shape because I thought it might be good for trimming. And this is sort of a sculpture tool, so the end of it's round. I thought that might be nice for opening up when I can't really get my finger in there. Like if I'm going to make miniature mugs, I'm going to want to have something smaller than my finger because my finger's pretty big. And then it's got a point on the other end. And then this is just, I often use this for a sgraffito tool. But I thought that also might be good for shaping and doing the wet trim at the bottom. And then this is kind of it kind of looks like an arrow point to me. I don't know what that's supposed to be used for. It's a good shape. Maybe I'll sharpen it and see what I can do. So there are my tools I've put together, and I'm going to go ahead and weigh up a couple of pieces of clay. I thought I'd start with an ounce, I think. Let's see what it actually ends up being. I've got my little digital scale here. I'm just using my regular studio clay. It's a white stoneware. It's my recipe that I have mixed at Paoli clay, and it'll fire to cone 6, and it's under 2% absorption at cone 6. So mode ounces. Wow, that's 1.5 ounces. Okay, so let's get that a little bit smaller. I weigh up all my clay at home or at the studio, so I might as well start the practice here. It's really hard to get an exact ounce, though. .05. Is that good? Is that close enough? Okay, so I get this out of the way. And how do you even wedge something this small? I wedged the ball first before I brought it home, and I have a damp box here. It's just a plastic shoebox that I've poured plaster in the bottom. You pour the plaster in and let it set, and then pull it out of the box and clean off all of the little sharp edges, and then put it back in the box and just add water to it. And it's airtight enough. If I want to keep it longer, I can put some plastic or some saran wrap in here, because this isn't a perfect airtight fit, but that plaster holds a lot of water. So that's what I'm going to use to put my clay in, rather than plastic here at home. So here's hoping you can see. Alright, so there we go. Sorry about the production quality here. feel like I want less of me and more of the wheel, but I can't really tilt it forward anymore. That's going to have to do. All right, so get the water going here. My water's right here. Although I wonder if I should switch places, because I'm going to knock the... There we go, that's better, because I'm right-handed. I'm going to be sticking my hand in the water over here. Alright, so let's get this stuck on here. Many of the videos that I've seen, they stick the clay down first, like this. So I'm sure I'll experiment with lots of different things, but I'm doing it the way I've seen it on videos so far. Okay, so there's my little sponge. I'm going to turn it on. Get my fingers wet. Get the clay wet. And let's get it going fairly fast for centering like we do on our regular wheel. Okay, so you can hear it. My fingers definitely are slowing it down, but as you can see, I am centering the clay. And this is fairly soft clay. I don't like to throw with super hard clay. So I feel like if you are going to throw, you're going to want, throwing a little wheel like this, you're going to want really soft clay. Give myself a bit more speed. The thing I don't know about these little wheels is if speed and torque kind of relate to one another. It's pretty stable actually. But one thing I am noticing is it is throwing water all over the place. So I think rather than trying to put a lot of effort into centering this lump, I think I'm going to trim it. Because it does look like I've got a lot anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off. And there, a centered lump of clay. Woohoo! So far, so good. I just have to remember that the up switch is the direction I want to go. Alright, so now I'm going to center this down. I'm going to try to make a little bowl. So definitely, I don't think I'd want to use more than a couple ounces on here. Alright, so here goes. I'm going to open up with this little sculpture tool. So maybe I'll try throwing out here with it. And ta-da! There's a bowl. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. And I want to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to clean the clay off my phone. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.